How many of you like people leading you? And that's an important question to ask. Because a lot of times we talk about people leaving jobs, we talk about people not being happy. There is a survey conducted by Gallup, which is a very popular organization which conducts a lot of surveys around the US. And as per one of the report, they talk about that 50% of people are not happy with their jobs. And the surprising fact is that this report is a lot before even the COVID came. So the question is not that the people working from home, it's the overall the concept of people not enjoying their job. So now let's understand what is the bottleneck, what is the grassroots problem, and how leadership could be a solution to it. Now, talking about it, I would say one important aspect to know is that people leave managers, they don't leave the organizations. I'm going to rephrase it that whenever you're leaving a job, when you're switching, you're not leaving the organization, you're leaving the managers. And that is where the concept comes that do you like your job or do you love your job? And we need to understand that when I say that people leave managers, who are these managers? You take endless examples around. You talk about cricket. Who actually end up becoming captain of that cricket team or a soccer team? The answer would be the high performing player. And that is the common problem with corporate world as well. There are a lot of people who are good in terms of whatever they do. So if you are part of a tech team, whoever is brilliant in terms of tech mind will eventually become the high performer and will end up becoming your manager. So, and if you look at the manager, the term itself, it is about managing people. So what is more relevant is that the person who is becoming manager should be equipped enough in terms of skill set, in terms of values, in terms of knowledge to lead people, to understand people. And that is where I would say the major bottleneck lies. That when we are not selecting the right people to become managers, eventually we are losing in terms of right talent. And a lot of people end up leaving the jobs because they are unhappy with the work they're doing. And what exactly this organization does? I mean, if you want to train your managers to become leaders, what we do is we conduct a lot of offsites. We conduct coaching sessions and workshops. But what happens with this? Because eventually, whatever we're doing is a 1 day, 2 day, or a week-long activity, and eventually, people are these just act like boosters. So this does not bring that mindset shift uh, to your behavior, to the way you're going to lead people. So eventually, whatever you're doing can add up to like little knowledge, but will not make a manager a leader. So that is where we need to understand that if this is not working out, what exactly is that formula which can play a crucial role and can work out for your organization and your team. And this is where I would talk about consistency. I'll give you an example to make it a little more relevant. Let's talk about relationships as a concept. Uh, let's say if you talk about your girlfriend or let's say wife, can you tell me one particular moment when you felt that you love that individual or the other person also reciprocates the same feelings? Can you exactly tell that what was that one particular day when you felt that I was in complete love with that individual? And I'm sure you can't. So because the aspect is that there is no fixed metric in order to measure how amazing leader you are. And that is where we need to understand that all of this is an accumulation of smaller things, smaller gestures you make. For example, when you walk into office and you ask someone that how amazing they're doing, are you genuinely interested to listen to them, or you're just asking because amazing leaders do that? Or when you ask them about that, uh, how you can contribute to their personal growth, do you really care, or you're just asking because that's what the top leaders do? So the question lies is whether you really care, or are you leading with compassion and empathy, or you're not. And that is where I would say when you look at the relationships, it is the accumulation of small things. For example, uh, you thinking about your partner whenever you're making your own plan, or let's say you know that okay, the person is having a bad day, but you know that bringing one ice cream packet is going to fix that thing, right? So when you're into relationship, you do not think about yourself, you think about two of you. and you start putting the other person somehow equivalent to wherever you are. I'm not saying to put ahead of you or to behind you, I'm saying together. And that is where I would say the consistency lies. Similarly, if you talk about, let's say, workout, you may go to gym a day or a week, and you come back and you look at yourself, and you'll feel that I'm not building muscle, I'm not losing my weight, and that is where it's not going to work out, because you know that when you are on a bigger vision to achieve bigger things, you're not going to achieve in a day or a week or a month, in fact. So that is where you need to be consistent, because you know that you trust the process, and you know that if you're going to work out half an hour every day, it is going to help you become fitter, become much more in shape. And that is where you are going to be consistent. Similarly, when it comes to leadership, I would say there are two simple ways you can do and practice in your daily life. One is bringing the empathy. Trust me, after COVID era, that's the important thing you need in your life whenever you are meeting and connecting people. So I would say, whenever you talk, whenever you are with someone, bring that empathy and compassion, and keep that as a center whenever you're leading a team. And I would say, uh, even whenever you're asking someone, right, about how they're spending their day, are they growing personally, or they feel that there's something missing, be available, be there to listen to them, so that you can understand and go back to them that we are here to solve it up. And that is where the major fun lies. Secondly, I would say, you need to understand the difference between communicating and uh, and comprehending. So what I mean here is that a lot of time we communicate but we do not connect. So for example, these days we are so much surrounded with mobile phones that you go to a meeting. Let's say the meeting is going to start at 9 o'clock, and you are there 8:55. What you're going to do is you're going to be in your phone till the time meeting starts, and that is where you're not connecting with the people who are sitting around you, next to you. uh, and that is where it could be a game changer. Just imagine that you are there for 5 minutes, and you're asking the person sitting next to you that how exactly their lives are, what is happening apart from work, what new course they're doing, what new hobbies they're building upon. And that is where two people connect. So I would say an heart to heart connection is something all we need at workplace, because at the end, when every team is a family, when everyone treats each other like a family, then they're going to fight internally. But when it comes to showing up for the work and going to fight the external world, you are going to be united. You're going to be one, and that is where I would say the game changes for the organization. So the question lies is that, do you like your job or do you love your job? If you like your job, you may look out for replacements. I mean, someone is there who's paying you more money, you will immediately switch. But if you love your job, you will not think of going elsewhere or working elsewhere. And that is the fundamental difference of the leadership. So I would say it again, that leadership is accumulation of doing smaller things for the individuals and for the team. The moment you start caring about your own team, that is where the organizations will grow exponentially.